Hello and welcome to our second video in our Dreams of a Nation series. Now today we're looking at the source of our Constitution's power, the source of all our power as a nation. But before we go into that, I'd like to cover just two quick areas. One, just a quick background on the Constitution itself, and then just a quick explanation of what the preamble is for those who don't know. Firstly, on the Constitution. The Constitution was developed and drafted by the CPC, or what we call the Constitutional Planning Committee. It was a committee created by the National Assembly, tasked to create the Constitution. It had specific terms of reference, and so it went out there and did its work. And it came back and submitted its final report in August 1974. But before it did that, what had happened in the consultation process was, from May to August 1973, the Constitution says they visited every sub-district in the country, and they held over 100 meetings which were attended by about approximately 60,000 people. Apart from that, they had discussion groups in various centers in the country, and the discussion groups would send written submissions. The CPC also put out ads in the paper. They ran radio shows to spread the awareness of what they're doing, and they invited written submissions which came from the discussion groups plus other individuals. According to the report, they received over 2,000 reports from the public. In addition to that, there was also consultation with national and international experts on the Constitution. Now, this idea of a nationwide consultation process was driven by the CPC's drive to create a homegrown, what we call a homegrown Constitution. And it says in the report, and I'm quoting this from the report. It says, "What has influenced us, above all in seeking formulations and adopting them, has been the desire to meet Papua New Guinean needs and circumstances, and in particular, to base our recommendations on the kind of principles we discuss below." Below meaning the rest of the CPC report. Now this sets the context for the Constitution. Now in terms of the preamble, as just a quick explanation, I realize I didn't explain what the preamble was for those who don't know it. The preamble is the opening statement in the Constitution. It's the first few paragraphs. It's a set of declarations that set the tone for the Constitution, set the context. It gives a proclamation of our nationhood, our independence, our heritage, where we came from, a statement of our identity, our values, and our aspirations and vision. One of the things about the preamble is that it's non-justiciable, which means you can't take it as part of the law and sue someone or sue the state for violating the preamble. It's just a set of philosophical and idealistic statements. Okay, so those were the two main points, introductory points that will give a context for what we're going to discuss next. What we're discussing now is the source of our power, the source of the power of the Constitution and all the subsequent laws that come under the Constitution. Or you'll find the source of the power in three small words that become really important words, and they are the opening three words of the Constitution or the preamble. And those words are, "We the people." The complete sentence is, "We the people of Papua New Guinea." Now for me, these three main words set the context for the whole Constitution and every other law. There's 5 implications in these 3 words. One, it's the expression of the people, the Constitution. Number 2, it implies the unity of the people. Number 3, it implies the essence or provides the essence of our statehood. Number 4, it implies the sovereignty of the power of the people. And 5, it implies the responsibility of the people regarding our nation. Now let me cover each of those very quickly. Firstly, in regards to the expression of the people, we the people, when it opens up the Constitution, it is providing an identity of the person speaking. And the person speaking is we the people. Everything that's said in the Constitution after those three words are statements of we the people. Every provision, every philosophical statement in the preamble, every schedule, they are statements that are made by we the people. Now, this means that every time we change the Constitution or the laws in our country, we are amending the expression of the people. So you and I, if we have said something and agreed to it for it to be said, when we change it, that statement is now changing. The will is now changing. We're now considering a different way of doing what we said we would do. Now this follows on to mean that the will of the people has to be in the forefront. It has to be the main factor affecting decision making in our nation, in our national leadership, as well as in our bureaucracy, public service, and then for us as normal citizens. We the people, when we're amending the laws, what do we really want? How do we want to express ourselves and our will? Now theoretically, when in a democracy, MPs are supposed to reflect the will of the people when they are making decisions regarding laws. This means, in theory, when we are electing our MPs, we're supposed to kind of know how they're going to vote in respect of certain issues. Their ideologies and their ways of thinking have to be clear to us, and we have to know them so that we make the decision based on that. Because we want, when we vote, we reflect our ideals and our ideologies in who we vote. We think that they reflect what we think, and so they would vote in line, when in Parliament, they would vote in line with what we would want. So that's how we give our votes. But of course, we know that this doesn't always happen, even in perfect democracies. Okay, moving on. The second implication is the unity of the people. When we say we the people, we are implying that there's a consensus. The minds have met in respect of how we're going to exist now. So from day one, we are a united people. There was a singular intention in respect of our nationhood or where we're going, as expressed in the preamble. And as a people that's identified together, we are united. That's the second implication of the statement "we the people." All right, number three, we the people implies the essence of our statehood. What makes us Papua New Guinea? What is the essence of the independent state of Papua New Guinea? Now, in every nation, the essence of the existence is the people. Every nation exists on the basis of the people, and we state it quite explicitly in our preamble, in the words, "By authority of our inherent right as an ancient, free, and independent people, we the people do now establish this sovereign nation." So we give the essence to our statehood. Now, number four, we the people implies the sovereignty of power. The people being the essence of our statehood implies that the people provide the power. And so we open our preamble with the people. And we say it explicitly in the Constitution, all power belongs to the people. Every government in the world rules at the mercy of their people, no matter how they've been created. If they've been created by fraud or by dictatorship, or if they're a monarchy, they exist at the mercy of the people. If the people don't rise up and overthrow governments, then they exist at the mercy of the people. They allow them to. So in Papua New Guinea, all power belongs to the people. That power is divided in three, as we know it: the lawmaking power, the power to execute the law, the power to interpret the laws and enforce them, in the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. A final implication of we the people is that we are responsible. Now, of course, if we are the foundation of our nation, if we provide the essence, if we are the source of the power, then we also have the responsibility for the progress of our nation. This means that the state we are currently in now as a nation is because of us. We are responsible for it. We're responsible for how we live our lives on an everyday basis and whether that adds value to our nation. Plus, we're also responsible for the leaders we elect and the kinds of decisions that they make that impact on our nation. So, good or bad, we're responsible. And in terms of the future, we're responsible for the future of our nation. The destiny of our nation, the progress, the development, it's we the people. And we can't look to other nations blaming them or other factors. We are the reason we are at where we are at. Now, just as a closing, why is this relevant to you? Why is knowing that we the people are the source of power and everything, why is that important to you to know? Well, firstly, I think it should help you recognize that you should be interested in the way that your will, your expression is being amended and executed and interpreted. Because this is the law, it's you. This is your statement. This is the people's statement. And every time it's changed, you are changing and your will is changing. You also need to recognize that this nation is only as good as the people. We can't keep blaming the leaders only or blaming our foreign donors or foreign influence. We can't keep blaming them. If we say that we the people are the source of our own power and our sovereignty, then we are also the source of all our problems and all our progress. So if this nation is going to change, we the people have to change. And how is we the people going to change? By the individuals, you and I. Change has to start with you and I. So in closing, let me just say, knowing that your constitution is your expression, I would encourage you to aspire to be better citizens so that we take our nation forward and make it better. Thank you very much for listening. That's the end of our second video. I will join you at the next video to cover just some of our national values that are contained in the preamble. Thank you very much.